guys, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So my name is Samantha, and I want to walk you through some very interesting clips that I ran across this morning. Let's start with what is going on in Florida after two hurricanes hit it back to back. Well, if you listen to the news, great devastation. I want you to hear from a pastor who is actually in Tampa, Florida, and hear what he's trying to tell you. They hype up these storms, but the most interesting fact about what he's going to talk about is how they say there is no gas and they wrap the tanks with plastic. There have been several reports of people going up, cutting that plastic, sliding in their debit or credit card, and lo and behold, filling their tanks. So when you talk about that, I think that ought to be punishable with some kind of law. Like every governor needs to go look at that, and they need to pass a law where these companies that own Chevron and Texaco and you know what I'm talking about, gas stations, cannot wrap their tanks and say, oh, no gas, especially in the middle of an emergency and an evacuation. Imagine how many people pulled up, realized, oh gosh, there's no gas, and kept going. Even if there was only 1,000 gallons left in those big, large tanks underground, American citizens should have been able to use that gas to evacuate safely, especially if they were from an area that was told to evacuate. So I want you to listen to these clips very carefully about what Pastor Rodney Howard-Browne is trying to tell you guys. Listen up.
This I thought was funny.
We plan to execute between 70 and 80,000. We plan to evacuate between 70 and 80,000 people.
All right, so we plan to execute, which that was funny. Next. All right, so Fort Myers, major storm, relatively calm compared to what we were expecting. Okay, bring it right back to me. I was on the phone with people from Miami through the Everglades, Fort Myers, Naples, all the way up, Sarasota, Bradenton, up to Tallahassee, and I know what was going on. I was talking to them all the time. They said, Pastor, there's nothing here. It's in some places, a lot of rain, no wind. Other places, some wind and some high wind, gusting up 69 miles an hour. Some places 89, some places were 99 gusts, but the wind was not sustained at that. But they just said it's not like what we thought. So I was talking to people 20 miles north of the eye, of the so-called eye, and they said there's nothing going on here. Anyway, say what you want to, believe what you want to. I got the facts. All right, there are almost 4,000 hurricanes in NOAA's database since 1851. But experts say your SUV is responsible, recent ones, basically. So they're blaming man for climate change. But 4,000 hurricanes. They're saying, oh, the hurricane season really picked up. I think we've had 6 hurricanes in the last 5 years, or 7. So it's like 1.5 hurricanes a year. I mean, come on. There's no rapid increase of anything, ladies and gentlemen. It's all bogus. Next, and thanks to Noah. Great. Thank you. Next, fuel update as of 6 p.m. Friday, 25 tankers have left the port of Tampa Bay. So there's still places without our fuel. Bring it right back. Many of the fuel places had plastic wrapped around them, said no fuel. Well, people don't know this. Several people went and cut the plastic and pumped gas. And when they asked the managers said, look, you're not supposed to be pumping gas. We don't have fuel. Said, yeah, I filled my tank. And they said, well, we were told by our headquarters to lock the pumps up and say there's no fuel. So what were they trying to create by doing that, huh? And I've had several people that did that.
He also continues to discuss how high the winds got, or didn't get in this case. But what I want you guys to understand is that a lot of cadaver dog teams, helicopter rescue teams left North Carolina, came down to Florida to help. They all left. They left. They went back to North Carolina. So that's my point. We're hearing so much about how bad these hurricanes were. And yes, you and I fundraised. We were able to get generators for people, buy gas for people. We made a huge donation to Pastor Rodney Church. And that's what we are called to do as Christians, is help our brothers and sisters. But my concern is much bigger than that, folks. It's the mainstream media focusing in where there is not a need and simply ignoring North Carolina. You don't even hear anybody talking about it anymore. We have hundreds, if not thousands, of deaths and injuries in North Carolina. We have entire towns missing. There are towns that they're just getting to 15, 16, 17 days post-hurricane. Are you prepared to care for yourself and your family and your animals 16, 17 days, no power, no water, no home? Think about it. No way down off the mountain? Yeah, I know. I want you to listen to this last clip of a lady. Now, I know it's like a week old, but it still stands to reason. Why? Why is mainstream media not discussing North Carolina? Why are we not seeing a response from FEMA or anybody else? And why is Kamala Harris ignoring the fact that her husband owns shares in the company that's trying to get the lithium out from underneath all these towns in North Carolina? Folks, you need to wake up. There's never a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. They have okayed and approved thousands of dollars per month for illegal aliens, but we have Americans that have yet to be rescued from a hurricane. That ought to sicken you. Get out and vote for Trump. Watch this clip. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, folks.
You know what is asked of the community to get? Body bags. Freaking body bags. And now to find out that the government is coming in and actually just seizing the land and saying, no, this land doesn't belong to you anymore. We're going to bulldoze it all. We're going to take over it. All of your family members' bodies are just going to be washed away with everything else that we're going to get rid of with the bulldozer. Like, where is the humanity in all this? It takes a special kind of evil to be doing what they are doing in the mountains right now. They are hiding so much information from everybody that it is insane. The only way that we are getting it and actually know it's facts, because it's from friends of ours that are actually up there personally trying to help. The ones that aren't getting kicked out, though, because now that the National Guard is in there with their big old planes, they're saying that everybody with the smaller helicopters can get out. How are you with your big ass helicopters or airplanes going to get into these more rural areas? Why are you kicking out the people on ATVs that are going up mountains that you can't even get to? Why are you kicking out the people that have mules hauling in supplies to areas that the government cannot get to, but yet is telling the community to stand down? There's something very shady going on. And everybody needs to be made aware of it. And the message needs to be passed on so we can put a stop to this, if we can. The city of Chimney Rock, now completely washed away, that is the first city that the government has taken over. They've already had the town meeting last night and told everybody, y'all got to get out and you cannot come back. And it's even more maddening that the news is spreading lies, saying that we've only had a couple hundred deaths is absurd. The morgues are filled up. There are trailers bigger than people have ever seen before outside these morgues that are now filled up with bodies. There are bodies getting pulled out of trees. There are bodies getting found under trees. There's bodies everywhere. And you're saying, oh, it's just a couple hundred. No, it's not. Everybody is getting lied to. It is like a war zone over there. It's not something that is going to be fixed in a couple of hours. They are projecting that the power will not be back on till the end of January. There are people on those mountaintops that don't even have service or know how bad it is around them because they are so cut off from the world. There are people still stranded. All their neighbors' houses, their own house is gone. They're stuck on the top or side of a mountain because landslides happen all around them. It is so bad around here. I can't even say everything because there's just so much.